Jerry rig. It's a two-part workout where it's meant to be treated as two separate scores worth equal points. At the start of the workout, perform Jerry, 4-time, 1 mile run, 2,000 meter row, 1 mile run. In the remaining time, you will find a 1 rep max shoulder to overhead from the rack.
As soon as I unrack the bar, I would be like, this is a bad idea.
And we're off. This is Dante. New York City, taking on Jerry rig. So, as the name alludes to, Jerry is a benchmark workout in and of itself. It is a 1 mile run, 2K row, 1 mile run. So that's the first part. The good thing about testing something like Jerry, which I think they've done at like, I actually don't know where that's been done, but I know it's been done by several different competitions. And it's like a good tester just for of like aerobic capacity, for lack of a better word. So that'll be a good place to grab some comparison data for our athletes. And it's a very simple monostructural test, obviously. And then pairing that with a max lift afterwards is just like, and it's just classic CrossFit. So, not to worry, folks. We're going to trim some of this out. So you don't have to watch 30 minutes of this. Or 32 if it was a lady. So we'll trim it up a bit. Anyway, for the running, I mean, let's start with Jerry. Day, since you're the running expert guru now, how would you think about pacing Jerry?
So for that one, you're looking at obviously in total 2 miles of running, a 2K row, which is an equivalent-ish. If you were to convert a row to a run, it's equivalent to like a mile run. So if you're looking at it in total, I would look at it kind of like a 3K run. So if you're, or not a 3K, a 5K
Oh,
run.
yeah, 5K.
Ish.
Yeah, if you're just like trying to get rough
run,
time
like around
domain,
5K.
yeah, probably about right.
Right. So if you were familiar with like your 5K run, all that, then I would say think of those paces to begin with. And with that, knowing that you're starting off with a mile run, that's where I would keep things a little bit more conservative there, just to kind of get that feel. Starting off with that 5K, that 2K row, if you're familiar with your 2K row time, then that should give you a good gauge there. Obviously, when you're doing a 2K row, you're not going to go at your actual 2K row pace. You want to add, like, maybe be a little bit more conservative from that, because you're not going to go all out there. And then that 1 mile run, by then you should have a good feel as to what you can sustain, knowing that you're going to go into a 1 rep max shoulder to overhead in the remainder time, which, if you're, whether you're doing split jerk, whatever, knowing that requires a lot of bracing. So you're going to have to really make sure that you're not going into it like super out of breath or anything. You can use some time to kind of like catch your breath and bring that heart rate down. But you don't want to like go all the way out where when you go into a split jerk, push jerk, whatever position you choose, that you can still brace and keep that position.
Yeah, this is again, like so many open workouts have like a Metcon into a lift, and sometimes they have this format where it's like on a clock, or it might be like, you rest 1 minute from the end of it, and then you have like a 5-minute window afterwards or whatever. But if it is this format, which it often is, because it's like the easiest to implement from like a sweeping perspective for a big demographic, then it's like the fit people are just rewarded doubly, because they get done with the workout faster. So they have more time to lift, but they also probably have a better developed aerobic system, so they also can just recover faster in the work. So it's like you have more time to lift, and you also are like more fit. So it's a double whammy. So I think that's wise advice, especially for people who aren't going to blaze through the first part. It's like, know how much time you're actually going to have to lift realistically, and that will help you decide how much time you can take to rest and what your starting loads can be and how aggressive you're going to have to be with jumps.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we see it too with like workouts. like the recent one, right? The Murph. The more fit you are in those runs, like the more you're gonna be rewarded when it comes to the middle portion of all the movements. So yeah, definitely
you're just like
pays
less
huge
taxed going
dividends.
into it. Yeah.
Right.
Chris, what would you row at?
A snail's pace.
I'm saying like relative to like maybe something like 2K or 5K. I know you probably don't have accurate data on that right now, but I'm just curious, like, how, like if you were to go out there and do that today, like, how would you think about processing how you should row?
Yeah, the way I would look at it is like, okay, if I was fit, or where I was previously, I think my best row time was right around 6:50 for a 2K, and so I'm probably looking at about 7.5 minutes or so. Is probably where I would sit. I would try to pace at around a 7.5 minute pace, especially if like Dante, he's running on a. Oh, it looks like a true form runner.
Yeah, I believe it is.
So much harder than running outside. Specifically a true form. So I've been fortunate enough to run on an assault runner and run on a true form, and the true form is like a little bit flatter than an assault runner. It's not as arched, so you don't get like as much pull on the belt. But then in addition to that, because of that, and the drag on the belt's just a little bit heavier. Like it's so much pulling of your hamstrings that like your hamstrings and calves just light up on a true form. And so that would also have an effect on my pace versus running outside. Like it's easier to kind of. It's not easier to know what your pace is at because you don't have a screen in front of you unless you're an experienced runner, but you can at least slow down and speed up based on feel and not come out of it as muscularly taxed as you would on something like this. But to say all that, I would I don't know, roughly try to stay in like the 7.5 range, maybe a little bit slower.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that I think that equates to like a 2K time pace plus 10 seconds or so. So adding
which is
10
going to be,
seconds to, like,
depending on the person, maybe
500
roughly around like
pace.
5K. I mean, honestly, it's probably... And
Right.
again, Dave was saying like 5K run is like, hey, like that's roughly how long you're going to be working for. It's like 5K row, again, is going to be very similar type time domain. So it's like, for a lot of people, 18 to 20 minutes or so for like a 5K row for like a time trial. So it's like, if you just replace the ends with running and obviously row in the middle, that's probably going to be somewhere around your pace. It's like that 5K.
Yeah.
So honestly, that's probably where I would be, somewhere around 5K. Yeah, probably not faster than that because then it's like you're incentivized to just run harder. Like the run there is more separation than the row. Like if this was like 200 row calories, it would be a different ball game. But with it being, or 100 row calories, it would be a different ball game. But it's like, with it being for meters, there's just not a ton of separation. Like if you're rowing as a female 208 versus a 203, it's gonna have a big difference in how you feel getting off. But it's only 30 seconds or whatever, and you can make that up on the run.
Yeah.
But again, I think this will be a good retest for a lot of people, just in like a super, super simple monostructural test. So again, ladies got a slightly longer time cap, just because obviously we can expect paces to be slightly behind what the males are at. So they get 32 minutes on this. Yeah, if you need to scale it, like if someone's doing this and they don't think they're going to finish under, 28 minutes or something like that, then it's like probably just extend your time cap out rather than pulling back on Jerry would be my advice. Chris, what would be like your starting weight on this? Or let me word it this way, not you. How would you advise like an athlete attacking this?
So for me, I do think a decent. I think some of it depends on how you come off of the run, right? So what I mean by that is, for some people, like they might actually be able to lift not heavier, but lift relatively heavy in a workout like this because you're coming out super warm, and it's like an aerobic piece beforehand, right? It's not like I'm doing like Fran and then having to step into a lift.
Yeah.
And so what I would try to do is like I might touch like 135, right? Easy, one plate on, hit a lift just to like feel the bar on my chest, and then I would probably take fairly aggressive jumps for me, right? Like I might go to like 185 after that, and then take, maybe get to like 205. So looking to take pretty good jumps from there. But I would first think about, okay, how am I going to come off the run, and what top weight do I think I'm going to be at, and then kind of reverse engineer the weights you want to hit from there. Because if you have an idea that, if I wanted to be at upwards of 300 pounds, right, I need to be smart about where I'm starting, right? I can't start at maybe 135 if I'm going to be up near 300,
Yeah. I think having a gimme lift is always a good option, especially if you're going to have some time. But even if you're tight on time, I think feeling something honestly not really doing what Dante did here, which is like if I were to advise him to do this differently in like a retest, it would be like, back off and like do one that's just a gimme lift so you can feel how it's gonna feel, like what your legs are like, and how like sometimes that first lift, like you can't even coordinate yourself because it's like things aren't firing correctly after you go through a really hard piece like this. So I'm always a fan of just like feel one out, have it under your belt, and then start to take like real attempts after that. So 225 first lift looks quite solid actually. And who knows, like maybe everybody's a little different. Like sometimes people just like to make less attempts and make it more aggressive, which I'm sure Dante's in that boat because he's more of a power athlete, so that kind of makes sense actually.
Do you know what his off? Go ahead, Day.
I think his jerk's like 255 or something, which he goes like.
Oh, that's a pretty high percent to start at for the first lift.
Yeah,
then.
30 pounds under your max. Like that's heavy. Like
that actually spits in the face of exactly what we were saying.
That's exactly what I was saying. It's like he definitely does not do this, but I mean, again, he made the first lift, so you can only say so much.
Yeah.
So he's got a little over a minute here, making us a second attempt. And this is right up to his max. So he literally did one lift.
All
and then
gas, no brakes.
For real. So there you have it. That was his max. Yeah. Not how I would have done it. I mean, literally, I can't imagine not not lifting for a half hour and then going 90%, 100%.
No, yeah,
that would
seriously.
go so poorly for me. That would not happen. But he can say whatever he wants because he made the lift.
Yeah. The other thing is
it's impressive.
I feel like for most of us, as soon as I unrack the bar, I would be like, "This is a bad idea." Like,
Yes.
like as soon as it was sitting on my
chest. 10 seconds. So this is one where I think there's a little bit could have used a little bit more quarter wear, and that's just to like time attempts up. But so this one's just slightly past time, 10 pounds over his PR, I believe.
I mean, you got to give that a go, right?
Yeah, you have to. So. But I mean, hey, right up to like 100% or very close to that. Very, very solid lift. So.
Yeah.
Good job, Dante.
Well done, Dante.
Thanks for watching today. Be sure to share this workout and take it on with some friends. If you want to learn more about how to optimize your performance for the sport of CrossFit, or if you're interested in hiring one of our coaches, head over to zorfitness.com. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. Best of luck on the workout, and as always, stay the course.